Hello and welcome. Let's see this question that came in the year 2014 and is related to the topic of structure and physiography of India. The question is, which of the following have coral reefs? Number 1, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Number 2, Gulf of Kutch. Number 3, Gulf of Mannar. Or number 4, Sundarbans. To understand this question, let's see this map which was released by INCOIS, that is Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services. Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, and it is an autonomous body under Ministry of Earth Sciences. Under MOES, Ministry of Earth Sciences. As per this map, Gulf of Kutch, Malwan, Lakshadweep, Gulf of Mannar, Andaman and Nicobar Islands have coral reefs. Now, what are coral reefs? Coral reefs are basically divided into these three types, that is fringing reefs, barrier reefs and atolls. Fringing reef is formed in the fringes of the coast. Suppose this is land, this is the coastal area. Along the continental shelf, reefs will be formed. And in between this coast and the fringing reefs, there will be shallow lagoon. Lagoon is basically lakes, saltwater lakes. So these are fringing reefs. They are not far away from the coasts. As far as barrier reef is concerned, barrier reefs are formed farther from the coast. These are the barrier reefs, and they form barrier up to certain kilometers. For example, Great Barrier Reef of Australia. And the lagoon in between is deeper and wider in case of barrier reefs. As far as atolls are concerned, atolls are basically formed near mid-oceanic ridges. Because in case of mid-oceanic ridges, suppose these are the ridge. Here is reef formation, right? And in between there is shallow lagoon again. So if we see the top view of atolls, it will be either circular or elliptical in shape. And they are in India, they are formed in Lakshadweep. Fringing reefs are there in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Barrier reefs is basically not found in India extensively, and they are the best example is Great Barrier Reef of Australia. Now, if we see the formation of coral reefs is basically a symbiotic relation that is the relationship in which both the parties gets helped between coral polyps and zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae is an algae and coral polyps are sea anemones. So the symbiotic relationship between coral polyps and zooxanthellae leads to the formation of coral reefs. And the ideal condition for the formation of coral reefs are basically shallow water. Shallow water. The water should not be deep, as the zooxanthellae, they do photosynthesis for coral polyps. So sunlight is also required. So in shallow water there will be sunlight, or there will be light. The water should be warm, comparatively warm. That's why they are usually absent in polar regions, though they are present in tropical and subtropical regions. Coral reefs are there in both tropical and subtropical region, and both in northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Also, the water should be clear, that is, water should not have sediments. Clear water is required for the formation of coral reefs. Now, coral reefs are basically evergreen forest of the sea. Evergreen forest of sea, as they have very high biodiversity, and they provide both food and shelter to the fishes. Hence, health of coral reef is very important to determine the health of the marine ecosystem. Now, coral reefs are threatened by 2-3 things. The threats are because of global warming, as the water is getting warmer and warmer, corals are dying, coral reef is dying. Then ocean acidification is also one of the factors, as because of ocean acidification, coral skeleton becomes weak. Coral skeletons becomes weak. Plastic pollution or oceanic pollution is also one of the threats. Ocean pollution is also one of the threats, as we have also already seen in the ideal condition that it requires clear water. So the polluted water are detrimental to the health of coral reefs. And also the uneven weather conditions, for example, storms, tsunamis, both meteorological as well as the geomorphic condition disturbs coral reefs. So these are the basic information as far as coral reefs are concerned. To secure coral reefs and the areas around coral reefs in India, the laws are regulated under Coastal Regulation Zone. And these coral reef areas are protected under Coastal Regulation Zone. For example, the fishing activity or the building activity as well as tourism activities are regulated as far as this Coastal Regulation Zone is concerned. Tourism is also one of the threat. To coral reefs. So if we see this question again, Sundarbans is not there in the map provided by inquiries. So first, second and third is the correct answer, is the correct statement. So A is the correct answer. Thank you.